Hello everyone, welcome to another class of HTML. So in this class, what we will be learning is a basic structure of HTML. So first thing, while creating any web page or websites using HTML, we have to follow some structural procedure. So we will try to learn that structure of HTML. So before we get started, let's take an example like if you want to write an application letter or if you want to write an essay, we have to follow some grammar like it have a heading, it have a subject, or else like it have an introduction, it have a body, conclusion, and so on. So it is exactly not that introduction, conclusion, a body, or so on, but we have to follow certain type of structures in HTML also. So let's get started. So out here, what I have written is this are called as comments. So this comments is what it basically does is that this will not be displayed to the user when it is being rendered by our web browser. So these commands are basically used to indicate some part within our HTML pages to describe what that particular part is all about, or like it is used to describe different contents so that the other users who uses our HTML pages will understand what type of content that is in a particular part of your HTML pages. So these comments you can add anywhere, wherever you want. But to write a comment, it will start with smaller than sign, exclamation mark. After that, any number of hyphens you can add in a number. There are no specific numbers to add these hyphens for a comments. After that, after explaining what you want to explain it, after that you can close it. So it is not mandatory that at the beginning of our HTML pages we have to add a comment. You can add anywhere to describe some parts of your contents so that the other user will understand, or it will be easier for you to edit a certain part of your HTML documents when you want to modify it. Okay, so now let's get started to learn the basic structure of HTML. So let me write it first. After that I will explain it. So doc type is HTML. After that, HTML, let's write head. So like we have learned that once a tag has been used, we have to close that particular tag when we are done using that tag. Title, body. So all right, so this is the basic structure of HTML. So like again, let us assume an example. If you are asked to draw basic structure of a human being, the first thing what we have to start is we have to draw a head, neck, body, leg, and so on. So like in a single human body we cannot have a two head or two leg or two bodies. So similar to that one, we cannot have same deck twice within a particular HTML page. So this HTML tags T are not case sensitive, which means that we can write HTML tags both in lower cases as well as in upper cases, and then it is not mandatory that we have to write all in these lines. It can be joined like this also, but to avoid confusion or to organize it nicely, it is essential to organize your structure properly. Now first thing, we have a declaration of a document type. So every document they have a declaration. So out here, if you write smaller than exclamation, doc type is HTML. So this indicates that the following documents which we are going to view, or which the browser is going to render, is based on HTML5. So this is the declaration of the document type, that the particular HTML page is on HTML5. After that, we have is HTML. So this HTML, it indicates that the document is based on HTML, or the document is written using HTML, so that our browser will be able to read that contents accordingly. After that, we have an opening tag for head out here. After that, this is the closing tag of head out here. After that, inside this head tag, we have a title tag. So inside this title tag, most probably we use to create those contents which will not be displayed directly to the user, which means that, like, if you are using an external CSS, cascading style sheets, for designing of our HTML pages, and then like a scripting language like JavaScript, we can write between this heading tag like metadata and so on, like any contents which will not be displayed directly to the user on the browser. Those type of contents are declared inside here. We will learn all these things later on in our classes. And after that, inside this head tag, we have again title tag here. So along with those other contents which will not be displayed directly to the users, we have as a title tag. So out here in this title tag, it can be anything. Like between this title tag, you can write anything, like the name of your web page, or the name of that particular contents you are creating. So for our example, let me write HTML. Like if you are designing a Facebook, let us assume that it is Facebook. So you can write Facebook or welcome, or so on. So for example, let's write HTML. So this HTML, it will not be visible to the user inside the browser, inside the body of the browser. Instead, it will get displayed at the top part of our browser. We will say to it when we run in our browser. So this one, it will be displayed at the top side near the URL of our browser. So that is the function, or that is the usage of a head tag. So again, inside this body, we have a body tag here right after the heading tag. So inside this body tag is where all the contents that you want to display to the user will be written inside here using different HTML tags. So we will also learn all those different tags step by step in small parts. So inside this body tag, we have to write all those contents which we want to display it to the user inside our browsers. Again, inside the body tag, we have is a header. So inside this header tag, like the name of the website, or else if you have a logo, you can add those logos, and on all those navigation menus, all those menus, it can be inserted inside this header tag. For example, let us say that my page name is my HTML page. So you can give any name, the name of your website, or else if you have a logo, you can add all those things. For example, let me give my HTML page. So that is the basic structure of HTML. So after that, inside this body, you can add any contents like images, audios, videos, forms, paragraph, and so on. So after you are done, we have to close the body tag. So this is the starting tag of a head, closing tag, starting tag of a title, closing tag of a title. After that, once you are done with your body, again close it. Now after closing the body, all we have to close is HTML for this one. We have to close this one out here. That means this indicates that it is the end of our HTML page. Okay, Now let us we did not add anything, we just gave only a small header here. So for now, let's save it. Let's save it as I will be saving it in my HTML5 folder. So I hope you have already created those folders where you want to keep all your HTML pages. So I will save it inside this HTML5 folder. After that, I can give like basic.html. So after, let's save it. So try to give a relevant name when you save any HTML pages. Like, don't save it as 1 2 3 4 or ABCD or so on. Like, if you did like that, it will be hard for you to go and revise it, or it will be hard for you to identify if you want to learn some things what you have already saved it inside your browser. So always try to give a relevant name whenever you save any HTML pages. So let's run it. Run, launching Chrome, or you can, for now let's launch it in Chrome. So when we open it, this will be this is the contents I have added to the, let's make it like this. Let's make it like this. So inside our HTML page, the visible part is this one I have given inside the header. So that is this one, my HTML page. Now this title tag HTML, it will be visible only in this area. So like, if I write like this and then save it, refresh it again, it will give it out here. So anything that we write inside our heading tag, it will be visible only at the top side of our browser here. So let's minimize it. Okay, now for example, we have already closed this one. Done. After that, we want to modify our basic structure of HTML. What we have to do is we have to go inside our folder. After that, my page name was basic.html. So this one, right click, edit with notepad, or open with notepad, so on. So let's edit it. After that, if you want to modify something, you can always modify it. After that, again, you just have to save it. Once you have already saved once, and then if you do not want to save another copy of it, you just click saved. After that, for example, if you do not have any Google Chrome inside your browser, you can open it in Internet Explorer, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, or so on. So it depends on the type of browser you have installed. So you can go inside your browser, double click the files you want to open it, and then using any default web browser, it will get opened. So let's open it here. Okay, so that is the basic structure of HTML. In our next classes, we will try to learn some again different HTML tags we use to create web pages. So that's all for this class. Thank you so much, and see you in the next class.